What's going on? It's Howie Spangler, Tales from the Green Room, episode number 36. Woo! Getting up there, baby. Getting up there. Thank you to the supporters of the podcast. Really appreciate it. I got another one of those fancy emails last week. Tales from the Green Room podcast has another supporter. That's fucking awesome. Thank you so much. If you want to learn about how to support the podcast, go to talesfromgreenroom.com and hit the button that says support the podcast. And you can pick 99 cents, $4.99, or $9.99 per month. You can cancel anytime. Really, it just goes to help me pay for like administrative costs, right? Administrative, that's right. Like website and things like that. And eventually, one day, if I get enough supporters, it can, just upgrade the gear. I want to get better mics for doing stuff while I'm on the road. The mics I have right now are pretty shitty, so the quality's not that great. So I don't really like to do it when I'm on the road. And I'm on the road for weeks at a time sometimes, and it'd be nice to get one in here and there when I can. And it's a great opportunity for me to chat with other bands on the road as well. All that helps. So thank you very much to everybody that's already doing that. And thanks to everybody that came out to the Real Big Fish shows. Had so much fun. Finished up last week with a couple of our own shows, some headliners in Stanhope, Jersey, and DC. Both shows went really well. Thanks to everybody that came out to those. And now we're on a break, which is rad. But I never take fucking breaks, so here I am recording this episode. I love doing this stuff, so I just want to keep them coming as much as I can. Hope to be adding to the YouTube channel as well. I'm starting to upload the Tales from the Green Room episodes to YouTube, to the playlist there as well over time. So I 1 and 2 are up. I'm hoping to, and 34 and 35 are up. So I'm hoping to like close the gap now as we go. So yeah, look forward to that. Anything else going on? I don't know. Writing new music, which is great. I love when I get stoked about a song. I always have a lot going on, and it's hard to to really focus, I guess. And I get blocked a lot with songwriting. And so I started going through some old folders from last year, stuff that I hadn't used, and found some really cool stuff that I'd forgotten about. So opened up a couple Pro Tools sessions and started messing around and throwing some lyrics down, some vocals, and pretty stoked of what I'm getting. So it's nice to get the juices flowing with that again, and hoping to have some new music next year, believe it or not. I just want to keep putting out songs, putting out music. I don't care if it's a record or a single or what. I just have this vision of just always putting out music. I don't know. I feel like it's exciting every time, and I feel like our listeners appreciate it. A week after we put the record out, someone commented on one of the YouTube audio songs like, "Hey, when are you gonna put new music out? Love Detonate. When's the new album coming out?" I'm like, "What are you talking about? We just put it out 7 days ago." You know what I mean? While I really appreciate that you just want to hear more music, But I'm not a machine. I am not a machine. Today on the podcast, we've got Greg Shields, a good friend of mine. He sings and writes for the band Kash'd Out from Orlando, Florida. Good dudes. Done a lot of shows with them. Again, I've known Greg for almost a decade. Written a lot of songs together, and it was nice to finally chat with him. I'm surprised it took this long. But we had a good conversation. Talked a lot about songwriting, and when we took him on Warped Tour with us to sell our shit. A lot of interesting stories. It was a good time. So give it up for Greg from Kash'd Out. Greg Shields, what's going on, man?
Hey, man. How are you?
I'm great. I get to talk to you. I haven't talked to you in a while.
I know. We don't talk enough.
No, we don't talk enough. That's for sure.
You don't call me anymore.
I mean, you're really busy, man.
You guys are always on the road.
Yeah, we're busy too. So,
That's true.
Greg from Kash'd Out, what's been going on, man?
We just played a show at House of Blues in Orlando.
How'd it go?
Nice little hometown throwdown. It was great. It was with Badfish.
Oh, yeah.
So, those shows always are nuts in a good way.
Yeah.
So we are doing a few more dates with them. I got some sessions in between. And that's the deal.
Badfish is fun.
They're a ton of fun. I love playing those shows because you just know that, at least that's the case for us, is that everybody's just always into it.
It's a built-in crowd.
Yeah, if you're there for Sublime's music, then in our experience, the people really like Kash'd Out. So it's a good fit.
It's been that way for us too. Every time we play with them, it's the crowds are usually pretty slamming. It's like they're predisposed, to like the sound,
Yeah, it's almost like cheating.
Sort of.
It's not. It's almost not fair. But it's good for us, And I think we play, other than actually Ballyhoo, I have to count, because I think we played more shows with Badfish than anybody. It's either Badfish or Ballyhoo, one of the two.
We'll have to tally it up.
Yeah. Have an ongoing war. I'm down with that.
Yeah, nothing wrong with it. There's
Ballyhoo fans like Kash'd Out too. That's nice.
They do, man. They do. I see it a lot on the Bally Hooligans page, on the fan page. You guys get brought up a lot.
That's good. Shout out to those hooligans.
They crush it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw someone recently put up a post. I guess a link to Being Easy. It was just like, man, when these two guys get together. And it's true.
Yeah.
We've written some really good songs together.
We really have, man. I think we're got quite a few albums.
Quite the duo.
At this point. Thank you for having me involved in all that.
Thanks for doing it.
Throughout the years, it really got me started and all that. I wasn't even in the reggae scene at all. Not to generalize you guys as reggae. I know you're beyond that.
We're the most reggae band around. We're the East Coast ambassadors of reggae music.
Yeah, there you go.
No, that's a thing that people definitely get. I don't want to say they get wrong about us. I just say that they put us in the category of being reggae, and I've never thought of us as a reggae band. We've always been a rock band first that infuses reggae. I mean, we do it a lot, but I wouldn't say we're a reggae band. I feel like you guys would be more of a reggae band than we would be.
We are. We don't have as much rock. We've been starting to throw it in like the outros of our set.
You guys swinging your hair around and shit?
Yeah, dude. There's one song where I go nuts and I make sure my hat falls off.
Fuck yeah.
And,
it's the best.
It's good to rock out. That's what I grew all this hair out for. And it's definitely. I mean, we're dropping this new record that we're making it's changing some direction a little bit. It's always going to have a hint of reggae, but we're kind of collaborating with everybody. Speaking of which, if you want to get a song in, now's the time.
I do.
But we've been doing a lot of collaboration. I don't know if I can say who yet, but
that's fine.
We're writing with everybody.
That's great, man. So, writing or writing and features, or
we don't have any locked-in features yet, but we're leaving room for them. But mainly writing, actually, just kind of getting in. You know how it is when You know, you can only write so much in your own head, and even with your own band, and it takes another brain. You know, I'm always the other brain in other sessions, but you know, I need something. I need another vocabulary. Basically, when writing lyrics, you know, another sense of melody, just another idea, and also the production. You know, the sound design, and you know, we have some songs now that have a little bit more hip hop in them. We collaborated with people on the West Coast, and it's got those elements to it. So that's kind of cool. Very steezy, little style and ease. And
Sounds fun.
yeah, it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool. And your record is fire. Dude.
Thanks, man.
When you guys detonate, that is how's that doing? Is it doing good?
Yeah, it's doing great, I guess. I haven't really dug into like sales numbers and stuff, like, but the streaming.
It's not important.
Yeah, it's really not that important. The streaming, we're coming up on a million streams for the record soon.
Damn.
For the last little, it's been a little over a month now, and it's pretty sick. I mean, it includes the singles that we released a couple months before that. I Don't Want to Go and Maryland Summer, but altogether, man, it's pretty cool to see people listening to the new stuff, and we see it like all over the socials, like people praising the different songs and things like that. It's a good feeling.
How did it go playing the new stuff on the Real Big Fish tour?
Great. Like I've been saying it since the summer. We changed up the set to be more just be heavier with the more punk rock stuff back in the summer, and since then the shows have just been more high energy and a lot more fun for us to play, and it got even better as we approached the record release to start playing those songs. We're playing right now, we're playing half the album, and we're working on playing the other half of the album as well for the next couple runs. And it's just, I don't know, it's the fast stuff and like the heavier stuff is just way more fun to play for us. And I feel like we can really engage with the crowd a lot better than before. So it's just been a fun show.
I can imagine. I know how it is when you play a lot of slow. I hate playing the slow songs in our set, even because it's just, you know, you want to stay hyped all the time.
Yeah.
And even last night, you know, we had an hour set, but a 45-minute would have been awesome. You know, I love playing for longer, but you know, you got your stronger tunes that you, once they're out of the way, you start you got to slow it down a little bit, and it's really hard to keep the crowds engaged at that point. So I know what you guys are going through, and it's cool to see you collaborate even more with Nick joining the band now, and all of his heavy influences, and you know, Mike, Stevie, and their influences together. I don't know if many other people could hear, but I could hear it, and it was nice for me to hear because I was in a band with those guys, and it's like, it just sounds like all my friends got together and made a band, and they did. That's pretty much what happened. Well, you guys were already a band, but you brought my friends on board, and I like that.
Yeah, it was like a really easy situation with Mike. He's a great engineer, and he understands what I'm trying to get across from my head. And the songs were so simple this time around, where it was just like there was no crazy like, what do we do? Like I don't know. I felt like once we got in there to do it, like we banged out the drums and everything. Like I think the session with Mike was like 8 days, you know,
yeah,
and it was done. And it was just that was part of the reason we went back to him, was because we've worked with him several times before, and the Daydreams and Pineapple Grenades records, like just that we wanted to kind of capture that sound again because we knew the songs were going to be heavy like that.
Mm-hmm. And it reminded me of those days when you guys came in and did, when we were doing the pre-production for Daydreams and Pineapple Grenade, I think both times you came in with like 20-something songs and banged them all out in like a day for the pre-pro.
Yeah.
And you guys were just rocking, and it just went so smooth. And Mike has a really good way of running the session, and that's why I also chose him for many years as my engineer and studio partner. He's really good, really good.
Really good at what he does. He's also great at when you're doing guitar tracks. He's always great at like between takes going, tune,
Yeah.
tune it up,
Yeah.
tune it up.
Or telling you suck and that you can't hide behind the gain. You know? Yeah, but if you turn that gain down, we can really hear what you're doing, and you could do it better.
Exactly. He's great for that.
Yeah, very, very good. His OCD is perfect for sessions.
It really is. It's his attention to detail is really good. So yeah, if you're in a band in that Florida area looking for a great engineer to record your stuff, man, hit him up. MikeSteeby.com. He's a good dude. So let's take it back. I want to take people back here because we just kind of jumped into this. So I want to say 2010, maybe even, yeah, it was probably 2010 is when you and I met.
Mm-hmm.
And we had just started working with our manager, and he knew you guys, you and Mike. And you and Mike were working together at, I guess, Sound Lounge. Was it a thing yet in 2010?
It kind of was. At that time, it wasn't. It was just Mike and I had this band that we were writing everything for. And I mean, it was our band. We were performing in it. It was called Shut Up and Dance. It was like a female-fronted pop rock outfit.
I remember.
And we had been writing songs for, I don't know, a month straight. Our manager, who was your manager at the time, still is. I guess he's still my manager now. And he was like, you guys, because our band was like breaking up. And you know how that shit goes. It's
a mess.
It's not easy to keep a machine like that together. And Moore, our manager, had basically said, you guys need to do this for other people. And we're like, well, we don't know anybody who's where are we gonna find these people? We don't have any. He's like, well, don't worry about that. And he eventually linked us up with you guys, and that really started. We had the studio. I think at that point we had switched into, because you remember it was in like this, or no, I don't think you guys actually ever came to the spot at this point when we were recording, because we had just, I think the only studio you'd come to was the actual Sound Lounge, right? That was, or did you come to the smaller spot? We had a spot it was like inside of a practice place. So there's all these bands practicing around us. And at the time, right before we had linked up with you guys, we were in just one room. We had all of our stuff in one room, and then we shifted into these two rooms, and that was when shit got real, because we started working on, I think it was, Mike redid a version of your song Front Porch, if I remember correctly, and I remember somehow he managed to, I think he took a piece of an instrumental that was also the same progression as the chorus, so that I could sing to you an idea for the chorus. But you guys had already released this song, but we just didn't have any demos from you.
Yeah. It was basically a way for you to like kind of show what you could do with a song.
Yeah.
If given the chance. And I remember when I heard it, what you guys did to it, I was like, fuck, I wish we didn't release this already. Because I really liked what you did. You added this hook to it. And ever since then, whenever I play that song or I hear that song, I can't really listen to the original recording. It's just, oh God. But when I listen to it, I'm like, fuck yeah, I wish we would have done that. That would have been cool. Like you added a hook to it. There was it was lacking in the big hooky chorus area. and you were able to piece it together, and then you just sang this thing over it. And I was like, damn, I wish I could have done that.
Well, then you did, and then we came and so like after that, it was like, yeah, we're gonna do Ballyhoo's new record. Like after you guys agreed to come, we were like, well, we need a better spot, and that's when we got Sound Lounge. And for what it was a really cool little hole in the wall.
It was great
spot, yeah, and it served us well for those records.
It did.
A couple of Kai Vibe records, and stuff. But eventually, just the overhead got crazy, and I had to close the doors. And now you can do everything with an Apollo and the Slate Digital stuff, and it's great. You're killing it with all with your rig right there, and the Kemper and all that stuff.
It's pretty much a giant studio, like full-fledged, like in this little compact. It's amazing to me. We just did I did all the vocals for the new record right here, like with my daughter in my lap, like singing into my Slate ML1, and just it's amazing what you can do. The tones. I sat there when Donald was doing the drums at Mike's. I brought my interfaces with me and set up in his living room. And as Donald finished the tracks, Mike would throw them in the Dropbox. I would import them into my session and then just start laying guitars down, like right there, and using the Kemper. And with the Kemper, it's amazing because we said it so many times at the session. We were just like, God damn, it used to take us an hour and a half just to find a tone, with a guitar. And now you just hit a button and it's, okay, no, that's not good. That's not good. Oh, yep, there it is. Cool. And you've got it,
And then you can take that on the road with you without ever having the actual amp. You can have somebody else's amp tone, and then now that's your amp tone.
It's wild. It's a great time to be alive as a musician. Just all the technology that's at our fingertips now. It's just, the costs have come down significantly. You can make a record that sounds like $100,000 in your basement.
Yeah, you showed me how to do a lot of that stuff, actually, and I bought that same Slate microphone because of how well your vocals came out.
Nice. It's killer, man.
It's been working great for me, and
yeah.
Just having I gotta thank you. I know I've made a couple posts about it, but I never really get to like thank you. But you really did, like coming through and doing that Daydreams record and Walk Away was really has fed me pretty much. So I really do appreciate you guys having faith in Mike and I, and even all these years keeping us involved. It's been really good, and it, like I said, it introduced me to the reggae genre. I really wasn't in it. I was in a pop rock band, and getting to learn about all my now favorite bands, and now even taking it a step further, starting one of my own, and now I get to tour with a lot of them, and you guys. And it's just it's been a wild ride, and I really appreciate you back in 2010. Hooking me up with that opportunity.
Dude, none of us knew how it was going to go, and it was just it felt right at the time. The chemistry was there, and like you and I have like it's, I don't know how to explain it. Like our writing styles are like different, but there's some sort of like fundamental thing about it, the way we approach a song, like arrangement wise and melody. Like you have different melodies than I do, but it's just that fundamental idea of how a melody can be so much better than, like if someone, as a producer, like if someone, if I'm working with a band and like say Brandon from Bumpin' Uglies, I had him in here and he would sing something and it would hit me funny, and I know you have this too, where it just hits you weird, and you're like, I don't like that. Like try, and you just, it's like it takes a second, but like you dig through the Rolodex in your head, your melody Rolodex, and you're like, try this one, you know, and it just takes the song, it just levels the song up even higher, and we have that same approach. It just seems to work when we work together.
It's really it's inspiring, inspiring to, even when you flew me out to Sonic Ranch to work with Paul Leary
for the Girls record.
And and coming off of just here, I'd heard some demos that you had sent, but I hadn't really got to hear anything, and just hearing like all the things that you had already come up with and being like, all right, we got like 3 days. But I've learned to work. I mean, you guys are always under that kind of schedule. It's like, all right, we got 2 weeks and we got to have a record at the end of it. And, just working off of what you'd already had and going, all right, if I stop his melody here, where does that send me? Where does that send the melody if it were to not go where he just went and went here instead? And just being able to do that, and not even really, like, I'm on that plane, I have no idea what I'm getting into, but it's always good, and it's always been a good vibe. And even when we don't care for an idea, we can skip over that hurdle and move on to another one. I know we wrote Ross Vader like 3 times.
Oh God, Ross Vader, man, that song. I remember like I was freaking out during that session. Like towards the end, I was starting to lose my fucking mind. Like I was coming apart.
Like, yeah, you did. I wasn't gonna say that, but you said it. So.
Yeah, no, it's true. I was unraveling in front of everyone, and it was like I didn't know, because the lyrics I'd written for the song, the band just wasn't into it, and it just, oh my God, it just sent me over the edge. I just flipped out.
That's always the first listen, whether it's band or management. Usually it's band, and when you can't win them over, it's frustrating. It's important and vital to the process, because they got to play it, and you always want to make them proud too, because they got to get up there and stand behind it. And that's always the struggle. So I felt your pain. I definitely knew what you were going through, and we got it out. And actually, I think at one point for that song in particular, we got their input finally, because I know a lot of times they're good to tell you yes or no.
Yeah, it's like, this sucks. There's never like a solution.
Yeah,
it's like, okay, well, great. Well, what the fuck do we do about it? And yeah, so that kind of shit would piss me off. But that's really what made me mad about that part of the session. But like, and I remember just being like, fuck it, you write it. You write something. I was so mad. And I came up the next day, and you had a melody, and you'd written these lyrics, and I was like, all right. And I remember I had trouble like tracking them, because it was like, when the worst thing is trying to come up with, or no, try to sing lyrics that are brand new, as opposed to like having like been singing them in your head for months or whatever, like, because you just don't have control over the melody, and like it's better when you don't have to think about the lyrics, when you just kind of let them roll, And when I'm reading these lyrics that aren't mine, which was weird always, and trying to, because I know there's a couple parts where like certain syllables will go a certain way, and like you're not sure how you're supposed to sing how the rhythm of it is, the cadence, and so
you are at the right time.
Yeah, there were many like, okay, do it again, like, fuck, I can't get this, so that was doing Ross Vader was definitely like a rough part of the record for me, and I have no problem singing your lyrics. It's just that when like the pressure was starting to weigh on me.
It was
like,
the last song on like the last day, and it all had to be done. And the last thing that you wanted to be doing was singing new lyrics. I totally understand that because I have to, part of my job. A lot of people don't know. They hear producer, but they don't know. That's a very widely used term.
It is.
But in my production, I'm a lyric and melody guy, and so I'm constantly rewriting lyrics with artists, and I have to make them do it like 72 times before they hit their sweet spot in the vocal take, and sometimes people get it a little sooner, but like I have one artist at 20. At 20, that's when if she does it 20 times, she's good, and then you would never know that she didn't come up with that part 4 years ago, and it takes a little while, and then the pressure was on, but I think the fun part about that song in particular was because I got in the shower. I remember I was like, all right guys, you're driving Howie nuts. And I was like, he's just saying yes or no. I was like, I'm gonna get in the shower and you guys write down all these things that you think this song should be about. And when I get out, we're gonna piece it together. And I was so shocked because I thought they were gonna keep playing video games, and they didn't. I came to a full sheet of paper, and all I had to do was glue it together. And so that was really fun to like collaborate with the whole band. And I know we have in previous records, but not like that, not on the words. And it was really cool to get their takes on the greed and corruption.
It turned out great. It did. It turned out really great.
I love playing with you guys too.
Yeah, that's become like a fan favorite. And then of course the Real Big Fish horn section, just those dudes crush, and just took it over the top. It just went soaring,
Yeah.
Yeah. Always a good process.
I love those dudes.
Those guys are great, man. Matt, Billy, John, amazing.
Yeah.
So I remember it was from that 2010. The first time I think it was at that bar in Daytona. Do you remember the name of that bar?
The Ocean Deck?
No, it wasn't Ocean Deck. It was
Daytona?
Yeah, it was like a biker bar or some shit.
Yeah, it's the Ocean Deck.
No, it wasn't Ocean Deck. It was. I specifically remember we were like playing in the corner. And like Ocean Deck's got that horrible like nightmare load-in situation. Like it wasn't. It definitely wasn't that. Yeah. And this place, I don't know if it was right on the beach or if it was a block over or something like that. But I can't remember the name of it. It was some bar. But anyway, that's where I met you guys, and you took me to the car and you showed me what you did with the front porch. I was like, wow, that's really rad. I like that. And so we went and did pre-production on 2 songs. We did Sam Wrong and Last Night. And I still have the original rough pre-production versions of those songs. And it's so weird to hear them.
Wow.
Yeah, it's so weird to hear them compared to what the record would be. And yeah, and I remember just feeling so good about it, And I remember with Last Night, I can't remember what I did exactly in the chorus then, and you were like, wait a second, try this. Da, 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 da. Like I was like, all right, and then I tried that and we added like a lyric or two to kind of make the syllables line up, and I was like, fuck, that's way better.
I think I remember you were trying to go last night. Think I fell in love for the last time.
That's what it was.
It was like a little sooner, and I just wanted to space it out so that you came in on that downbeat.
Yeah, and like adding that, hope it's for the it's just that whole like it's real like I don't know R&B or something. I don't know, it's very cool right there when it dips down. It comes back, like dips down, comes back up. Yeah, and that was like that part for me changed the song. Like it just made it's so funny how that one little thing can really like flip how you feel about the song. and it was just, I don't know. But that's just what I mean about when it comes to like working with you. It's like, I don't know. You're always my go-to guy. You even you threw me some lines on the new record for 2 of the songs.
Yeah.
Was it Mind Over Matter and Can't Hardly Wait?
Very short notice. But
It was. We did a like a FaceTime call or something.
Yeah, I remember you were like, I was like, oh yeah, I'd love to work on the new record. When you think? And you're like, now.
Yeah.
Like, I need them tomorrow.
Yeah, I was tripping because I had 4 songs left to finish with the vocals before, like, it was supposed to be turned into Mike for mixing, and like we were on a super tight schedule because we were leaving for tour like the next day. I think it was 2 days before I left for tour, and I had 2 nights to finish 4 songs, which it's a lot, you know, especially when you're not going to be able to touch it up and fix anything.
Yeah, those last days are kind of nerve-wracking every time.
When you're down to the wire and you still got 4 songs left to sing, oh man.
When you have to call it done real soon, that looming nervousness.
It's this black cloud with these fucking big skeleton hands around your shoulders, like breathing hot fucking breath on your neck.
They're certainly not massaging.
And definitely not massaging, like squeezing hard, feeling these bony knuckles on the nape of your neck, the hot breath of death. Like
this is it. This is what you're gonna be doing for the next
finish.
Better be good.
It better be fucking good. And yeah, that's like the worst. I'm such a I don't know, OCD about the songs or perfectionist or whatever it is. Like, I listen back thousands of times to these songs before, you know, I print the vocal, you know.
Yeah.
And
even after I listen like 1,000 more.
Yeah, it's like, how's that arrangement? How, you know, what could I have done this? You know, there's definitely like this is probably the most satisfied I've been with the record. Because I slaved over it for months and months and months. I think it was finally getting mixed in like July, end of July. So like I had like 7 months to really figure it out. But there's only a couple little things that I wish I would have addressed or like done a little differently. But other than that, you know, I think it turned out really great. And I definitely appreciate you coming through on the FaceTime calls with me on those 2 songs.
Always. It's not always my preferred method, but I was happy to do it, and you know, I like to bounce. There's something about being in the room with somebody, you know.
Oh yeah. It's
but
weird doing.
We didn't have that luxury, yeah.
Sort of like, yeah, because like I've in the past, like I've had the laptop out and the acoustic guitar, and you just kind of hover around me like smoking a joint.
Yeah.
Like figuring it out.
There's a video of that somewhere.
There is, yeah.
We're in this tiny little room at the Sound Lounge. That was my office. And that was what we did.
I called it Studio C.
Yeah, that was a fancy name for it. It was an old utility closet.
Yeah. I'm just stuck in the corner.
Yeah, that was just where I had to, you know, quickly come up with stuff, and there's a lot of noise going on in the other rooms. So
yeah,
but yeah, that's the method, and you know what? It works. You know, I like to pace around and come up, get inspired by the music, and just add to it. I kind of get to join your band for that time.
Yeah, you were definitely like the 5th member.
That sounds funny.
Can you imagine if you had 5 dicks?
Dude, I was, you know, somebody, I was talking with Scott from Stick Figure, actually.
Speaking of 5 dicks.
Yeah, no, I'm going to get to why we weren't talking about dicks at all. We were talking about how my vocal range and how I always come in on the high stuff, and I never really explore the low range, and I've never done that I do. It just, for me, it doesn't sound good. And that's what I told him. But then when I went home, I started thinking about it, and I was like, but I have this high range. Oh, it just came out right there. I have this high range, and it's like saying, if you had two dicks, wouldn't you? I mean, you'd use them both, right? You wouldn't just not fuck with one of them.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, yeah, you definitely would. I mean,
Yeah, so 5 dicks, I can't imagine. I mean, you're on top of the world at that point.
yeah, there's nothing could
Like,
stop you.
it seems like a lot to weigh you down, though.
Yeah. Would it be like 5 times the?
Would you still have one sack of balls?
Yeah. Would there be enough to go around?
Yeah. Would you have to have 10 testicles?
Just one giant sack of 10 testicles?
Yeah, it'd be like the spiders, you know.
What the fuck is happening?
I don't know. I mean, I'm smoking a joint now, so that's where that came from.
Hey man, somehow this relates to being a songwriter.
Yeah. I mean, that's what half the sessions are. Honestly, that's the best part about my job. I'm usually pretty faded.
Yeah.
And
you are.
You know, a lot of people will partake too. When you partake, you fall asleep.
Yeah.
So
I did, yeah. On Daydreams, I wrote 2 songs. I was like, all right, let me hit the fucking vape. Hit the vape, wrote 2 songs, right? Because I was like blocked. It's like, cool, all right. Pineapple Grenade a couple years later. All right, let me hit the vape again. Passed the fuck out for 2 hours. Didn't write anything.
I went to get food and I came back and you were done. I was like, I thought we were gonna write this verse.
Yeah, nothing happened. It was done. It was a waste of time. That's the best part too about not having to pay block rates anymore.
Yeah.
Just get in there, set up the session for a fucking week or 2 weeks or whatever it is, whatever you can work out, and just be at the studio, live at the studio, and not be worried about, well, we got to be out of here at 5:00 or anything like that. Like and that was even better about being at Sonic Ranch in Texas, is like, there's no hours, there's no schedule. It's just, you just sort of, you work it out with your producer and your engineer or whoever is working with you, and the studio is there at all hours, 24 hours a day. Whenever you feel like is your best time to get going and work. If you want to work in the middle of the night, you can do that, and that takes care of so much. It's so huge right off the top, like not being concerned.
Takes all the tension away.
Exactly, because you're like, oh fuck, I gotta be out of here, or we gotta get in here tomorrow morning. Like, it's just, and you're there and you're living it, and you're just being creative.
That's what I gotta plug this spot that I'm at right now, which is Orlando Band Camp, and that's what I come here to do. Is that I've been holding sessions here, and it's right on a lake, and I book bands for 5 days, and I don't say, oh, we're gonna get this many songs or this many hours or anything like that. I mean, we might work till 5 a.m. and then not wake up until noon, and then we go get food, and we make sure we're comfortable. It's at a comfortable pace, but then when we're working, it's flowing. We're not concerned about, oh, if we finish this or not. The goal is to get as many ideas out as we can, and sometimes we range from about a song a day to maybe a really solid song within 2 or 3 days. It just depends on the what's coming in, but it's a great way to work. I've been doing with Nick, my keyboard player, or not my keyboard player, our Kash'd Out's keyboard player. I don't own him, but he is really solid at engineering and whipping up these reggae beats, or rhythms, I guess, as the kids say.
Yeah, rhythms with a D, 2 Ds actually.
Yeah, and he's just a mastermind at that, and the collaboration has been going really well. So I've got a few bands that I've been I think. Wait, aren't you going out with Propaganda?
Yes.
We just worked with them.
Oh, right on.
And that went really well. You'll have to hear those tunes.
Good.
Get them to show you.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll hear them.
But that was the process has just been so smooth when you don't have to worry about the clock. You know, it's just it takes all the stress away, and you just know that like if you don't finish, you know, maybe you like 2 out of the 3 songs, and maybe you're good with that, or maybe you want to have more songs and write them in the same fashion. Okay, book another week. It's not a big deal. We're right in the heart of things. A lot of bands got to come through Orlando, so it's in a good location. When you're here, your family.
I love that. Orlando Band Camp? Is that the place that killed our trailer or tried to kill our trailer?
Listen, you killed your own trailer. The gate has been harmless, and I pull my trailer in and out.
I don't understand how I was driving, never stopped one time. I was driving, and the motherfucking gate started closing. And I was looking to the right at the time because our trailer's like really wide, and it was pretty much the width of the driveway. And I was looking in the right mirror. I just glanced over to make sure I was good on that side, and then boom! Like, it was fucking crazy. So, you know, whatever. But
the moral of the story is 14 feet trailer, it might be a little excessive. No, I'm not really sure. I wasn't there, but there is a nice reminder of that incident every time I pull in the gate.
Every time we fuck that gate up, dude.
I'm pretty sure the gate, I mean, what's that? How do people, you should see the other guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, the trailer's
took a beating.
Pretty fucked. It's like fucking holes and dent, like, oh my God. Brand new, not a brand new trailer, but you know, it was still looking nice. Not anymore. That's all right, though.
Yeah.
That's all right. I don't hold a grudge. It's fine. I just wanted to make sure that was the right place.
Well, if you want to come back and fix the gate, we won't be mad. I'm kidding. It's going to stay, but you should still come back. You guys came through when I wasn't here.
No, and I would like to be there when it's not 3 a.m. It's like, I would like to get there and like, because it was like after a show, we just wanted to go to sleep, you know?
Mm-hmm. Which also bands can do, too. It serves as
It's a big spot.
Yeah, we have a room with a couple rooms with 9 beds in them. And there's plenty of room, usually plenty of parking, and you just got to go through the gate a little quicker than Howie does.
All right, whatever. So I think people need to know about your hustling skills, dude. I think it's a lesser known thing about you. You know, people know you write good songs, you know you're a good singer, and you produce a lot of bands, but they don't know Greg the Hustler. Like I know Greg the Hustler.
Yeah.
We brought you on Warped Tour the first time, both times, 2012 and 2016, and had you selling Daydream CDs that summer to people that never heard of the band before. Tell people how you do this.
Well, I have a few different phrases and methods. Well, the first year we had CDs, and this is when CDs they're on their way out,
right? And
everybody says, "Oh, well, I'll just get it on YouTube." And Warped Tour was not like a big reggae market.
No,
it was more for, I think, what was it? Like Sleeping with Sirens was huge at the time.
Yeah, like
a day to remember.
Post-hardcore and metal.
Yeah, and so I have to make people want it. So I would do anything from go up to people and say, "Hey, you guys like corn on the cob?" And they're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "What about string teas?" the little kind with the two kinds of cheese and twist around. They're like, yeah, sure, you love string cheese. I'm like, well, this doesn't have anything to do with that, but how about you check out this CD? And that would work, you know. And
Amazing.
yeah, it's really just coming up with, and at that point, we're there at Warped Tour. It's like all day. You started. I was supposed to start at like 9 a.m. if I could wake up that early, and that's like, and you're out there till what? They don't start breaking down till like
8
at least
p.m.,
6.
9
Yeah,
p.m.
8.
Go hit that
And
line, the line out front at the gate.
yeah, and there's all kinds of hustlers out there too. Everybody's got.
Yeah, you're
We're
competing
like,
for sure.
yeah, it's kind of like being homeless, but with a hustle. You're homeless, and you have a home, and most of us do. And, but you kind of like, you're asking a lot of people, or at least that's how they make it seem. So you have to target. It's like targeting people with certain shirts on. If I see they got a Sublime shirt on, then that they probably got a Hot Topic when their girlfriend got A Day to Remember shirt, then I'm gonna approach that guy because he was at the Daydreams was a little more on the reggae side. It had a lot of rock in it, but there was the songs that I was playing at the time. Remember I had that cart with the
fucking
speaker?
hot rod, dude.
Yeah, it was like a hand truck with a generator on it, so that we had a portable speaker that we could power, and I was pushing that thing around
And just
on the
blasting
rocks and
people
the
in the face
gravel.
with
it. Yeah. And I would put on, I think we did, it was Walk Away and what's the acoustic one that is evading me right now?
On Daydreams?
Yeah. There's more acoustic.
Fucking Jesus Christ.
It was a single.
Wait.
It wasn't fully acoustic, but it had that vibe. Either way, I don't know.
Why can't I?
We made it. I don't know. It's like a big song too. Sam Wrong.
Sam Wrong, yes.
Yeah.
The acoustic guitar is in that song, yes.
That's on that album, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, I would be blasting those. And, you just got to come up with different catchphrases and try to make people laugh. That's pretty much the only way to sell CDs these days. So you get them, or you got to slay it at a show, but you guys only had 20 minutes to do that. And that was the only times I didn't have to say anything. I just hold up that sign and said, Ballyhoo music here.
Yeah, we had made those giant signs with the broom handles. Like the big fucking, not poster board, but the presentation board, I guess. They're like the little, it's like a,
it's like thinner than poster
half
board.
inch thick or something like that. It's like, yeah. So we put those together and have both sides like written in marker, like big pictures and like big font like that I would draw. Like, yeah, it's like you have to really be out of the box and really work it. And you it's funny you mentioned earlier how you say that Daydreams has actually helped like feed you and pay some bills and stuff over the years. Well, I mean, you worked for it. Like that record, we sold a lot of records that summer, and partly because of you going out there and just crushing it, and so I mean, I remember you. God, I mean, some days you'd bring us like $600, to add to the merch money.
Yeah, it was like 70 CDs or something in a day.
Something ridiculous, and it was fucking great. And being on Warped Tour, and we weren't making a lot of money on the show that year, so any and all money was just like fucking great to add on top. Yeah, it's expensive to tour like that. And what was the one thing you used to say to people? what was it? Hey man, fuck, what was it?
Well, there's a lot of them. I think the one you always liked was the. I'd be like, "Hey man, you wanna check out the CD?" And they're like, "Nah, I'm good." Like, what are you good at? Not, not checking out CDs.
Dude, yeah, it's fucking perfect, man. It's perfect. Any band
Yeah,
would be lucky to have you out there hustling their shit for them. So it's insane.
yeah, you guys. I don't do that anymore unless it's for my own. Um,
For
but
your own gain, right?
yeah, you guys got some good hustle out of me. I was just proud of the record, and I knew that people weren't gonna hear it unless we put it in their hands, and I was a huge fan of Warped Tour, and just because I knew, actually, I didn't invent that hustle. It wasn't invented, but Mayday Parade actually inspired me to do that. I had gone on a few Warped Tours before, and I couldn't even get in. I was just singing acoustic to people to their cars as they would leave, and I had did that with Nick from your band, Nick Lucera.
You guys used to roll around in an ambulance, right?
It was an old ambulance that I was living in, and we were like, that was the ticket, because I knew that Mayday Parade had sold, I think it was like 10,000 copies, and they had a whole van full of people and a trailer full of CDs from their label. So I didn't have that luxury. I think I remember actually Mike Stevie was pissed because I don't even think he made his investment back. He invested to print, I think we had 500 copies of our CDs, and we sold every last one of them, but it wasn't on a Warped Tour. It'd be like at gas stations and whatever, just to get the money to get to the next thing. That ambulance had a huge fuel problem. It was all clogged in the gas tank, and we would go like 500 feet, and I had to switch the gas tank over. I had 2 gas tanks, and you have to switch it over every like 500 feet or so.
Jesus, really?
Yeah, we could only go like 55 miles an hour.
Oh man,
and
500 feet?
I feel like Christ. That. I mean, I didn't have a tape measure, but that's what it felt like.
So you just got your hand on the knob. You're just flipping like every fucking minute.
It was a little toggle switch that had been put in there, and it was, it was rough. Nick slept through most of it, but
Nick sleeping? Nah.
Yeah, I didn't know how he did it. There wasn't any AC in there.
Nick's a sleeper.
Yeah, he slept through most of it. But we had, everything from getting robbed to, blowing tires and just meeting random people who had radio stations and all kinds of. We could make a movie off of that track. But that was where it came from. I was just inspired by, I wanted to sell 10,000 copies, even though I had 500. And I did that. And so to come on the Warped Tour with you guys and actually have that laminate and like get fed every day was just like, I was in hog heaven. I could, the selling was the easy part.
You were part of it.
It was cool to be, just to see that machine and like see what was behind those gates. And there's really not much, but like you want to see it, and to be around all those tour buses and, hopes and dreams. And it was cool. And I wish that the kids at Warped Tour would have bought more CDs, but it shaped the hustle that I have today. We still go out. I take that Warped Tour hustle to, Reggae Rise Up, Cali Roots, and all the, One Love, all over the country. And there's not a lot of bands doing it. There's not a lot of bands willing to get out there and hold up a sign and say, hey, look at me. We're over here. Come meet us.
That's so true, man. I think a lot of bands, they either don't think to do it or they think they're above it. And it's just not the right mindset to have. We still go out to the merch table every night. There have definitely been some nights where I don't go out because I'm just not in the right headspace. Like I'm angry about something, or maybe don't feel good about the show or whatever. And sometimes, like, especially like local shows, like we have family, a ton of family and friends that are always out like to those local shows around the Baltimore area. And like, it's just insane, you know, the insanity. But for the most part, we go to the merch table every night and make sure that we're meeting the people that are buying the tickets and listening to the music and spreading the word. You know, it's like, it's the least we can do, because I wouldn't be standing there without them, you know? And you're one of those guys too, where you know what's up and you know why you know why your music is doing anything, you know? It's one thing to have good songs, but if nobody's fucking listening to them or coming to your shows, then, you know, nothing's going to happen with that.
Yeah. It's really about just, I gotta say, I got really, really lucky with the guys in my band, because they saw like the Warped Tour hustle, and they let me go on Warped Tour without like quitting.
That was really nice of them.
Yeah, they're like, you're gonna leave us for 2 months? Like, we've just been working and slaying like all these shows, and I was like, yeah, but you know, Pepper's gonna be there. Maybe I could talk to him.
And look what happened.
Yeah, it happened.
You developed a Law Records deal.
Yeah, that was a plan, well, like, thought out. I have a hilarious story about that. Have I told you about that when Kaleo pretty much shot me down?
No.
I was like, he didn't mean it. I mean, he just, I had seen him. I knew that, like, because Pepper left halfway through the tour, if you remember.
Mm-hmm.
They only did 1 month. And it was like 3 days left, and I hadn't got my pitch in yet. I had talked to Yasad, like, in passing. And he was out there hustling. He was putting flyers on the porta potties and stuff, and, like, I didn't want to bother him. So I saw that they were doing a meet and greet at the tent or whatever, and that the line was like, you know, maybe 10 more people. And I was like, I could just wait till the end of the line, and I'll get there, and I'll give them my pitch, and this is my moment. And I looked at my phone, and I had like 3% battery life, and I'm like, I gotta run back to the bus, and I'm gonna charge this phone for like 5 minutes. This line will be done. I'm gonna run back here, and I'm gonna play it for him. And this is it. This is it. And I just got all pumped up, and I charged the phone, and I rushed back, and there's one guy left, and I'm like, yes. And I get there, and Yasad is talking to somebody, Brett's talking to somebody, so there's Cleo, and I said, Cleo, this is like, look, this is the second time I've done this Warped Tour, but like, really, this is the reason I'm here. Like, I'm trying to get signed to your label. I was like, this is why I'm here for 2 months, and like, you know, I love the Ballyhoo guys, but like, I have some benefit here. I didn't word it like that, but you know, it was very desperate sounding. And he puts his hand on my shoulder, he smiles at me, you know, he goes, and he goes, not now. I was so like, you want to talk about the wind out of my sails? I was like,
wah, wah.
Yeah, and I walked back with my head low, and I ran into Ed from Real Big Fish. And he's like, dude, what's wrong? And I was like, dude, I think I blew it. Like, this was not the way this was supposed to go, and like, I thought that was the moment. And I learned that at a meet and greet is not the time. And I almost was like arguing with Kaleo. I was like, but you guys are leaving, and this is, you know, I'm not going to see you for God knows when. Like, how is there no better time? And he's like, I'm going to listen to it. And so it's their last show. He sees me backstage, and he goes, I'm going to hear that song. And I was like, oh, yeah, sorry, fine. Whew. And they play their set, and I go walk around, and I see him, like, about to get in a taxi or whatever. And I'm like, all right, this is it. So I go, and I said, all right, you ready? He goes, all right, what am I listening to? And as soon as I said, this is my band, he was like, he's like, I'm about to get on a plane. You really want to listen to it? You really want me to hear it? Just email it to me. And I emailed it to him, and I still never got a response to this day. I love you, Kaleo. I know you love me, but that was how that happened, and it really, I ended up just bonding with Yesad in your guys' back lounge one day, and now everybody's gonna bombard Yesad, but that's how you do it.
That's great.
You know, I had it in with your record a little bit, and he was the guy who really like listened to it first, and he brought it back to the guys, and I'm sure Kaleo finally heard it and loved it.
Yeah, for sure.
I would hope either that or he's just really good at faking it.
Nah, no doubt. He's Clay's a good dude. They're all good dudes, man.
Super good dudes. I'm so grateful for the Pepper Camp, and Less Than Jake too, because they were actually the ones who offered us our first tour.
Oh, killer, man.
Yeah, they happened to be going on tour with Pepper, and everything just fell into place from there.
Oh, that's right. You guys did that. I forgot about that. That was like winter 2017.
It was our first nationwide tour, and so I'd gone from the Warped Tour hustle, and it was like a week later we played Less Than Jake's
the Wake
and Bake, and we're out there, and it's like a Sunday night that we went up to Gainesville to hustle the tickets. We would go out on the street and just sell them to anybody, and and that's what I was saying. My band is like super down. Like they went after the Warped Tour thing. They're like, "Oh, the plan actually worked. Like, let's keep hustling," and they did. And like one time, Joey pops out. He goes into walking along the beach in Daytona. He sells like 12 tickets at one time, and just he was inspired. And so then we go up to Gainesville. It's like a ghost town, and the only people in the town happened to be, I think it was Brian. That's their stage guy, right?
Brian Maiden.
Yeah, and comes out of this bar and sees us with this sign, and it's like he'd just seen me all summer with your sign, and so he sees the sign and says, "Listen, Jake tickets," and comes out and snaps a photo, and then we play the show, and they're like, "Have you ever toured with Pepper? We're about to go out with them," and I'm like, "Please send that." Like, tell them that's what you want to do. And it was just a perfect timing because like the deal was on the table.
That's great.
It just, everything, that was how I knew, like, it's just from the Daydreams record to all the other records to getting out there and hustling, and it shaped where I am today, and I'm still on that grind. I'm not like balling or anything, but still on that hustle and still grateful for every show we get to play and all the shows. You guys took us out on tour. I remember I made that part of the deal.
Yeah. Yep.
And I'm glad you came through with that.
Of
and
course.
That was a great tour.
It was fun. That was with the Hold Up, right?
With the Hold Up
last summer. Yeah.
And we got to meet a lot of people that we didn't even know. We didn't know we had people in New York, and a lot of Ballyhoo fans. And
you guys had some fans, man.
It's just been awesome.
It's been really nice to see the rise of Kash'd Out over the last 2 years. Just from that first record that came out, and then it was like, you did your EP. It was like 6 songs or something like that.
Yeah, it was like 5, I think.
Yeah. And then working on the hookup, and you and I did did my verse in that hotel in Arizona when we had a day off, Warped Tour.
I remember that.
And it was so hot, we had to turn off the air conditioning, to record. And it was like 118 degrees outside.
Yeah.
It was starting to get hot and sticky in there.
I remember I'd brought the microphone in hopes that we would get that feature. I knew we wanted to do it, but we didn't have like anything written, really.
Your C12.
And yeah, and it was just awesome that we it was kind of like the same tension, not tension, but
Pressure.
yeah, well, the pressure to get it done, and then also like the same thing when I was trying to get Pepper to listen to the record. I was also trying to get you to do that feature because it's hard to find time when we're on Warped Tour, and there's no quiet places, and so that was like, all right, we have a day off, let's do this. And it was like I don't know, you probably didn't feel it, but it was a lot built up for that for me.
No,
So I'm glad it came out.
I'm glad we finally got to do it. It was nice, like to finally find a quiet space. And I guess the guys were out getting food or something. It was like early afternoon, I think, when we did it, and it was just you and I in the room. So it was like perfect. We might have an hour to like get this done.
Yeah.
And that's about all it took, was about an hour, just kind of writing, throwing ideas back and forth, and then we had the C12 right there. And I think we use your Apollo, or maybe we use my Focusrite or something. But like it was crazy, man. It's just another example of technology and having it right there, and just being able to do. I mean, it sounds great. Like when you listen to the song, like it sounds great. You wouldn't know that we did it in a hotel room in Arizona. It just sounds like we did it at a studio or something. It's wild to me.
I'm honestly, it's like I can do my job out of sick spots like this, any Airbnb or right here on the lake at Orlando Band Camp. It's amazing. I've had more sessions. I remember commenting on something. I've actually had more sessions since closing the doors to my studio than I ever had before.
Wow.
Just from being able to just do it right now as we speak. I have a vocal booth set up in Jackson's closet, and
No better place, man.
Yeah. I'm building a new studio room here in a garage here. It's gonna be cool. It's got a little lake access as well, and so in between, I don't have anywhere to record at the moment, so I can set up at Jackson's. I can set up in a hotel room if we need to. It's just gonna be a little warm, but it's just amazing to have those tools and to have all the gear that they have at Sonic Ranch. I just have a digital version on my laptop. There's nothing like recording into those boards, but
right.
To get the ideas out and get to that mixing stage, it's so cool it all fits in a box.
It's so wild. Yeah, just being able to do all that, anything you want, throw down an idea. Like I used to have to, like, when I lived in my old apartment, when we only had my son, we had to move when my daughter came along because there wasn't enough bedrooms, not enough space, And so there was no extra room for me to do, like, have a setup. So whenever I had an idea and I wanted to actually, I can always go into my voice memos, my voice notes on my phone, but I like to have some quality and like really kind of flesh it out and see, I want to hear the end result pretty quickly. I'm all about instant gratification. And I used to have to go and set up in the closet, again, great place because there's clothes hanging up. It's a pretty dead room. But then I got to get the cables out. I got to hook it all up. And then I had no idea what I was doing. So I'd spend an hour and a half troubleshooting, every single time because I just didn't remember I couldn't retain information on how to like properly gain stage and do all the things you got to do and wonder why I can't hear myself and all this bullshit. And by the end of it, I didn't feel like doing it anymore, Whereas now I've got this space and I've got everything set up and I literally just fire up the Mac, flip on my interfaces and my mic, throw my headphones on and just load a session and go. Like there's no, you know what I'm saying? Like everything's already set up and that's like the best part. And it's so, for what it is, I take up a pretty small space down here and against the wall and just sort of like, I got my own little control center and it's just amazing to me. I don't have a ton of outboard gear and like, not that I could even afford all that shit. It's just insane that, you have it all right here in this little box, like you said.
And just like that, you have a podcast.
And I've got a podcast, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's even simpler ways I could do the podcast. I just choose to do it this way because I have the gear, you know. When I'm on the road, I got to get a better mic for the road. I'm looking up. I'm looking at the SM7B right now for a mobile podcast because the one I'm using right now is like it's just like a fucking Beta 58. It just sounds awful. I need something.
The SM7B, you can't go wrong, especially for the price. It's a great mic.
Yeah, it's a good mic. It has it's got the built-in pop screen, and it's also like shock mounted all inside. So like it's just one piece. So you can just hold it up to your face, right up to your lips, and just talk, and it just sounds great.
Yeah.
So that's definitely the next purchase. I want to get 2 of them. That's the problem. Yeah, they're fucking expensive. They're like $400 microphone.
Well, in the microphone world, that's not real expensive.
It's not that expensive, no, definitely. But when you have no budget, it's like fuck.
Yeah.
You know,
getting 2 is hard to justify.
Yeah, exactly. So you're spending almost $1,000, and then it's like they want you to get that cloud lifter too, because it has pretty low output. So if you don't have like a good preamp, you need this little cloud lifter thing, and it adds like up to a plus 25 dB or something like that to get the really push it out. But I think I have the Scarlett 6i6 by Focusrite, a little red box, and that has really good preamps on it. So I figure you just crank that and it should be fine.
Well, you seem to be holding it down, you know.
Yeah, it's
all the demos you sent me sound great, and the podcast always sounds good.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I'm just I'm always trying to make it sound better, and I'm always watching like YouTube tutorials about compression and like mix bus stuff, and just little subtle ways, things that I can do to just make things sound better, you know. And eventually I'll learn all this shit, but you know.
That's the way of the world now, is YouTube. So.
It is, man. It is. And lynda.com, anybody. Lynda. Lynda.com. Lynda.com. Dude, you can learn anything on that website. Like, dude, I sat there I got a 3-week free trial back in like at the end of like 2014, I think. And I signed up, and just 3 weeks solid, dude. Just all day, all night would watch. I would take entire courses about compression and EQ and Pro Tools and like how to do all this stuff, and I learned a lot. I was actually able to learn a lot, and so over that winter into 2015 is where I learned most of the stuff that I know now, and then I've just been building on top of that.
I remember that because there was a lot more demos coming out of you.
Yeah, yeah, dude, crazy. Well, actually, nowadays it's like. It's weird. Like I have all these different interests, and the band is priority. But then I take that under the umbrella of like songwriting. I'm always writing, but then I like making videos. I'm doing this YouTube channel. I like making the podcast. So my time is starting to get like divided a little bit. But it's mostly because I just feel blocked a lot of the time. Like I kind of get stuck in my own head lyrically. And I don't write near as many lyrics as I used to. You know? It's like I'll have melodies and riffs and stuff for days, but when it comes to lyrics, that's where I get caught up. And that's when I call you.
Yeah.
You know? Help!
I'm always here for you. That's fine. It's always interesting because you'll be like, yeah, I got this verse and this bridge, but we need a chorus, or I have a half a chorus and I need the other half, and it's cool to kind of jump in where you left off. It gives a song a certain kind of dynamic. Yeah, it does. It's when you work with other songwriters, it's I think everybody who writes songs should be open to this, is, you know, because I used to be really territorial about my writing. I was like, no outside influences. This is my vision, you know. But when your back's against the wall and you sort of painted yourself into a corner, you know, it's like maybe it's time to open up a little bit. And that's what I did with you years ago. And
the idea of working with you or some other songwriter, it just, I don't know, it is cool. You bounce ideas, and you don't have to use every idea. If there's something you don't like, I mean, many times I've told you, it's like, I don't like that. You know, if you throw me something like, no, it's like, it's supposed to be about this, and I feel like, and whatever. But that's all we're doing, man. We're just throwing ideas, and there's no right or wrong way to do it. It's just,
Yeah.
it's all about
It's
how
about,
you feel about it.
and not being married to anything.
You can't get emotional
when you come in. Yeah, it's like there's a 50% chance when I throw out a line to you that you're gonna say nah, and as long as I'm mentally prepared for that and you're mentally prepared for that, then it goes well, And usually, what we're throwing out doesn't suck.
No, not at all. And more than half the time, it's like, fuck, all right, yeah, sweet, and okay, what do we got? I'll lay it down, or you'll lay it down, and we'll rewind it. We'll say, all right, what do we got? And we'll have a little listen, playback, and like, fuck, yeah, it's awesome. And then you're just happy that you did it.
Yeah, it's really collabing with other people is just the way to go. I stand behind it, not just because I want people to come do that with me, but even with my own band and my own record. I love what's been rad is even collaborating with more of the band, like even like you said, like Donald got more involved on this last record.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's always been involved, but it's like when he just was like, let's do this, and that's not how he comes in, but you know what I mean, he was excited.
Yeah.
And working with excited band members and like bringing in Nick, our keyboard player, was a game changer.
Huge. He's really good.
Yeah, he's just a machine. He was writing his own songs before that. And,
that's great.
So to get his mind in on it, and Jackson has become this gnarly writer, just from working. When he came in, we started this band because he just had these sick riffs, and I was like, please tell me that you don't have words for that. And like, this is not like some project that you're already doing and whatever. And he was like, dude, I can't write words to save my life. And I was like, yes. And but that changed because he the more we wrote, like now he's like bringing in whole songs, and I'm like, well, damn, I wouldn't really change much of anything on this. Let's cut it.
That's great.
And yeah, I'm really proud of him and the rest of my band too for all the time that they give Kash'd Out. It's something to be said, and you guys, are a lot of inspiration because that's that. Two of my guys are from Maryland, and that's what really got, because I did that Daydreams record. That's why he was willing. I was like, if you're willing to put in this work, and we could pitch to Wall Records, and we could get something done. And he was like, dude, I love Ballyhoo. Let's do this. And it's just been rad, man. It's been a wild ride. Yeah,
and like I said, the growth over the last couple of years for you guys, I feel has been really, really good. And there's definitely going to feel like moments of like where you feel like you're plateauing or something, but that's just part of it. It's like it took us years to kind of get any sort of like to get put on the map, I guess. And you guys have already kind of done that. And there's so much room to grow, and it's just fun to like see that. And I think just like anything else, it takes time, and it just takes a lot of work, which you've put in a lot of work already, but it's going to take even more work. And don't let it get you down. Like when you feel like things aren't going the way you'd like, they will. It's just like there's, it takes time, And I think a lot of bands and a lot of new artists need to understand that coming up. It's not just going to happen. You got to get out there and really work your ass off, and meet people, and obviously put out good music, But always
That's step one.
yeah,
But that's the first part.
have a product.
Yeah.
And even if it's not your best work at first, you have to always be writing. Just keep writing and writing and writing, and eventually, you just never know, man. Shit can pop off. Walk Away is our biggest song ever. We're about to hit 15 million streams at Spotify alone, just on Spotify.
Amen.
Right? And yeah, insane, right? And that song was never. I remember specifically in 2010, I think, driving near my house somewhere and having that, girl, we just can't take much more. We make each other miserable. Like that line kept hitting me, and I started building it out, and then we finished it up at your studio, and it was never like, this is gonna be the biggest song. You never fucking know. I had no idea, right? And suddenly, and that song, we even tried that song at radio, and it didn't do shit at radio. But the fans love it, man. And it's still, whatever quality it had, it still remains that way today. For new listeners, it's like, damn, I just found this fucking band. And then like, there's a screenshot. It's there, Walk Away, What is it about that song? Well,
I think it's everybody getting involved too at the shows. It's the sing-along part and it's just a feel-good tune, and you feel good about something bad that happened. Yeah.
It's like a positive spin on something kind of negative, but maybe not so negative. I don't know.
Yeah, and if somebody's just seen you at a show, or it's like a Real Big Fish fan discovering you guys at a show, and there's other people that already know the song and they chime in on the Walk Away part, and then people take that home, and then they go find that song, and then the next time they're chiming in, and it's been super cool to watch that grow. I remember I used to make videos on tour with you guys of that part, because it was like, that's when we knew it was working. And it was like, we'd go all the way across the country and people are, singing along. And it's a huge tune. And I'm really glad we got to make that happen, and I could help you finish it.
Yeah.
Because it paves the way, even if from one song to that. And, it's always, I brag about that all the time. And I will forever.
And I will continue to do so until I'm dead.
Yeah.
We should maybe do that one time, like get together on a podcast episode in the future and like deconstruct a song, like any kind of big song, not necessarily our songs, maybe even like the biggest songs that we love, deconstruct the song. Like, why is this? Why do I love this? Why do millions of people love this song? I think that'd be an interesting episode.
I'm into that.
Yeah. So we can wrap it up here, but what's going on with Kash'd Out? What do you guys got? I know you're working on a new record. Can you tell us anything about the record, or what else is going on? Tours?
Well, the record we are writing, that's kind of our main goal right now. We just got off the road with K-Bong and Vonalea, and we were going to go on tour with Sun-Dried Vibes, but they decided to take a break from touring.
I saw that.
So, everybody needs it at some point.
It's rough out there, man.
Yeah, it's hard out there for a pimp, as they say. So, so that actually was, we were ready to go and stoked to see our fans, but we could definitely use the time to write the record. So that's what we're doing now. It's our main focus. I know that Paul Leary is going to be mixing it.
Sick.
And yeah, so we're really excited about that.
Paul was great.
He did a great job with your girls' record.
He's a good mixer, man.
He's amazing, from his work with Sublime and being the guitarist of the Butthole Surfers. He's been around the block.
He has rad stories.
Yeah, I can't even retell them. Like, when I try to tell people who ask how that was hanging with him, I will start to try to tell a story, and I'm just like, all right, I can't, because
not
there's
the same
too many
effect.
weird details. Yeah,
that's the way he says things. It's his voice and all that's just funny.
Yeah, he's a great dude. I'm happy that he is down to mix our record. So we're going to just get it ready for him. And really touring wise, we're just playing. We got some shows with Badfish still here in Florida, and just kind of playing the East Coast a little bit. And we're gonna hit it hard next year when our record is finished. Nothing that I can confirm or deny yet, but it's gonna happen. You'll see us out there.
Is it a Law Records album?
Yes.
Nice.
Yes, we. I could not be happier with that relationship. So, just the Pepper Boys are just their family, and you know how it goes. And it's just, I love those dudes, and it'd be hard not to put out a record with Law Records. At this point, every band reaches that point where maybe you start your own label. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure where it'll go, when we reach that point. But right now, we're loving the Law life, and
None Escape is what I've heard.
None Escape, yeah. The None Escape the Law tour was super fun, and I hope to do another one of those at some point. But it really is what they're doing for the reggae scene and the not so reggae scene. It's huge, and we love those dudes. I can't say enough good things.
Yeah, they are good dudes. They took really good care of us with the Daydreams record, and it's been an awesome relationship. I still talk to Assad from time to time, and we just put out the vinyl. We re-released the Daydreams record on vinyl. And
you gotta save me one of those.
Oh, for
I
sure.
want one for the wall.
Yeah, definitely. Pretty rad. But
everybody should go get that.
Everybody should go get it. Vinyl, baby. Well, shit, Greg Shields. Thanks for coming on the show, man.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Shoot the shit. I hope I didn't get too distracted.
No,
that'll happen.
No. It was good. It was good. I think people are gonna enjoy this episode. Getting to know you a little bit, and yeah, man. Well, it's great to hear you're working on new records. Yes, I want to do a song with you, and let's definitely do some shows in 2019.
I'm looking forward to all of that. That's the way to go.
Right on, man. Well, I will talk to you soon.
All right, buddy. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, man.
All right, peace.
Late. Well. There you have it. Greg Shields from Kash'd Out. So good to have him. 5 dicks, everybody. 5 dicks. I have no idea where that came up. You just talk and you say things. One of the more interesting pieces of the conversation. Everybody go check out Kash'd Out. It's Kashd out, Kash'd Out. They're on all the socials, the Instagram, the Facebook, the Twitters, all that stuff. Check out the music, Spotify, YouTube, everywhere. Bunch of good dudes. It was great to actually have a conversation with Greg about his career so far, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you again real soon.